In this video, you will know how to implement authentication using Hasura and Firebase. Hi there, my name is Dmitry Mrzhensky. Do you remember what we have done in my previous video? If you didn't see it yet, I would recommend you check this video out first to get more context. The link will pop up somewhere up there. Let's summarize what we have implemented until now. So far we can log in, create a new user, log out, and we have protected route. But still, everybody can access our GraphQL endpoints. And this is the problem what we're going to solve right now. Let's jump to the code. So, to implement this, let's go to authentication page of Hasura and let's see what kind of options we have. I will zoom in a little bit, and first option is we do request from our app as example, then Hasura redirects to some authentication hook, which can be third-party service, and this service returns the session variables which contain some variables or parameters, headers which required by Hasura. It can be xHasura role or xHasura user ID, whatever. And with this, Hasura already goes to the Postgres and depends on the user role and so on. It grabs the data and then it goes back to our application. And there is a second option. Second option is with JWT token, and that's what we're going to implement today. And the idea is that we request this JWT token in some additional service. In our case, it's Firebase. It returns JWT token, and this token contains all necessary user claims. And it takes this token and goes to our Hasura engine and says, hey, I have this token. Hasura checks if all necessary claims are there, and it checks then if this JWT token is valid, and if it's valid, it goes to Postgres and we get data back. Otherwise, we get the error like, you should authorize. Okay, let's have a look how to implement this in code. First of all, we have to init Firebase functions. To do this, you should run this command, and this will initialize the project, the basic setup, and we should pick some things like TypeScript and so on and so on. And after this, I would like to navigate to our functions, and then I want to install dependencies, but we have the Node.js version conflict, so I have to change. I use Node 10, and we have to replace it. And now I can run yarn, and we can see that everything has been installed. And here's some placeholder code which was generated by Firebase CLI. So I want to remove this everything, and I will write my custom code. And first of all, I want to import the Firebase admin, and I have to initialize my app. And this initialize app takes config, and there we go. Then I have to export some function. In my case, it will be register. And this function has auth and this user, and I want to listen on create user, and I want to when we create the user, I want to actually set up these custom claims which are required by Hasura. And these claims requires to have this namespace is https hasura.io JWT claims. It's default value. You can change it if I remember right, but it's default, and for this exact case it will be enough. And yeah, we have to define default role. It's gonna be user, and allowed roles. It's array of different roles. In our case, it will be only one. It's user, and I want to also pass the Hasura user ID, and that's it. I think that's all. Then we should return something, and this will be admin auth and set custom user claims, and we should say to which user and which custom claims should be set. All right, so we can save, and I need to deploy actually these functions, and to do this I will run the command firebase deploy and deploy -- only flag and functions, because I want to deploy only this piece of code, only our functions, because it can be not only function but some hosting or whatever. And let's go to our Hasura Firebase console, and you can see that our register cloud function has been added, and where it lives. So we can close this, and let's try to create the new user and check if our cloud function is working. So there will be Hasura at mail.com, whatever, my super secret password, and let's create a user, and it looks like everything is fine. User should be created. Yeah, here is our hasuramail.com, which is great. Then let's go back and log out and check if our login is still working. So I can log in. Very good. So we are on our dashboard. So our cloud functions are working. And now I would like to show you one thing. I want to show you our actually ID token. And to do this, I should access this auth service. And you can see, if we expound this, we see our claims, which proves that they were set up correctly. And you can see our hasura.io JWT claims, and yeah, that's exactly what we defined in our cloud function. And there is our token, which we're going to send to Hasura actually. And yeah, let's go back and just take only token, and I want to show you one thing. Let's reload. Here we go. There is our token. I will copy this, and we can actually parse this token. I will just Google JWT token parser, and if there is the JWT token parser. If we pass our token, you can see that our custom claims are included into this token, and we see a bunch of other information. And yeah, keep in mind that despite this is invalid signature, some data can be visible despite this is, yeah, as I said, invalid. So do not put some sensitive information like passwords. Now I would like to remove this line, and we have to do next thing. And this next thing is we have to somehow attach this token to every call to our Hasura engine. To do this, we have to go to the Apollo docs, and there I saw the use case for this. Yeah, this set context. This is the thing which should help us. And let's go to VS Code, and first of all we have to explicitly add this, and now I can import our set context, and here I will implement authentication context. Okay, that's gonna be function, and this function should take as a parameter Angular Fireauth, because this is provider which will provide the token for us, right? And I have to import. Oh, it doesn't work. Why? Sometimes VS Code doesn't work, VS Code import, so we have to restart the server, and now hopefully, yeah, now it's working. So strange, but okay. So set context, it's going to be a sync function because I'm going to use the promises inside, and await operator, so that will be const token await for id token, and this is gonna be observable, but I take one emission of this and convert it to promise, and then I will return just the headers, and this header will be authorization, and here's bearer and our token. Here we go, looks nice. And now we have to also merge these two links. To do this, you have to use Apollo link, which has method from, and it takes the array, and we take our first HTTP link, and before I will also add our auth context. And here I have also dependency, and I will add this here in create Apollo factory, and then I have to add this dependency there. Now I can start. So yarn start, compiled successfully. Let's go to our project, open the network tab, and let's see if our implementation is working. So scroll down, here we go. There is our authorization header, and this is our token. So everything is fine. Let's go to configuring JWT mode, and what it says: you can enable JWT mode by using the -- JWT secret flag or Hasura GraphQL JWT secret. Everything is clear, so we have to find our Docker Compose file and set additional environment variable, which is Hasura GraphQL JWT secret, and this secret we have to generate, and there is the section generating JWT config, and what it says: the JWT config to be used in NV Hasura blah blah blah. Okay, we have to generate this token, so we can select provider Firebase, and here we have to place the ID of our Firebase project. This is Hasura demo app. Now let's copy this, paste it here, and remove this unnecessary thing. Generate config, and we have to copy this, and then what they say: if docker YAML, please use quotes. Okay, let's do this. Paste. Okay, looks fine, and we have to uncomment this Hasura GraphQL admin secret because it's required, otherwise you will get error when you will start your Hasura engine one more time. Now I stop my Hasura engine and I do Docker Compose up. So we're restarting to apply these changes. And now I go to my project. And here now I see the errors because it says that field tasks not found in type query root. And it makes sense because now when it's everything protected, we have such thing like role access. And do remember that we defined the user role as a user. And if we go to the console right now, by the way, if you do, you will be asked for the secret password, which is we defined exactly here. But for now, I entered this before, so it remembers me. And now if we go to the data and select, as example, tasks and permissions, we see that we have the permissions only for admin. So we can insert, select, update, whatever. But we don't have such a things for the user. And you see and this is the place what I mentioned where we defined in a cloud function this user role. And now I want to do the same. I want to add user, and I also for insert we don't need an insert, sorry, for select I'll do without any checks, and I want to check also which exactly columns I can access. I want to toggle them all and save permissions. And that's and for others, update, I think for insert, yeah, insert, because we are inserting, yeah, I have to also do without any check. And yeah, I want to insert everything except UID. But by the way, do not do without any checks. You have to protect this everything. It's just for this lesson. Probably in the future I will create video about these Hasura roles as well. And yeah, let's save it. And yeah, I believe we don't need update and delete. Let's try to reload the page, and we still have the issue. Let's check what this time errors. Message, user not found in tab. Of course, yeah, because we also do nesting query to the users table, so I have to do the similar thing for the user. So let's go to select without any check. Now if I reload page, we see everything is working fine. And let's try to add another to-do task and be sure that we didn't break the things. Okay, here it was added, everything is fine. And let's verify that it's actually working, and I will just add 1 to 3 to our token, and we see that it returns the error and says that could not verify JWT token, not valid, and so on, which proves that everything correctly set up. At this point, you could think that we are completely done, but let me show you one very important bug. So let's log out, and then I want to create a new user. I will, put Hasura whatever, Hasura 2, because we have already Hasura. And yeah, I will define some password, create a user, and now we see that we get an error. And the error says that claims key http hasura.io was not found. But what happens? And the thing is that I will show you by example. So there is our index.ts. This is our function, okay? And you can see that we set custom user claims on the event, like on create event. Here is the thing that Angular Firebase authenticate the user immediately after creation. And our custom claims comes already after the authentication. So this JWT generated JWT token doesn't have these claims because they were created afterwards. And this is actually the problem. So we should somehow catch this moment when our claims was created, and after this we have to refresh completely our token to grab this last information, these our custom claims, and include them in our JWT token. Okay, and how we will achieve this? I would say that after we created the custom claims, we have to create some marker, right? I would create this marker in our real-time database. So let's create the reference, and I call it metadata, and that will be user ID. And then I will set some, it can be actually some random string, but I would use the date now for this, so it will be just timestamp, and save it. And then I will go to my register component, and what I will do here, so now I go to the register component and I want to do the next thing. So once we created a user, I want to first comment out the router navigation, and then I want to convert this everything to stream RxJS. I will use the from operator to convert the promise into the stream, and inside I would use the switch map. So here I get the user in this switch map, and what I will do, I will start to listen for this metadata reference, what we created in Cloud Functions, and here I will call this object method where I have to define metadata, and then slash, and here there's user ID. That's user ID. So I will just destructure like this to make it shorter. Here we go, and then slash refresh time, or how would I call this? I think, yeah, refresh time. And then I will be listening for value changes, and there will be pipe, and I'm interested in the first emission, which is not null. Okay, so once we set up this date, I will receive this first message, first value, and stream will be completed. And I will return the user because I'm not interested in timestamp itself. I need to return user when this timestamp is created. So it works mostly like just event. Yeah, to catch this moment of creation. And I need the only one emission in this stream. And once I get this value, once this claims has been created, in switch map I will call this getID token method, and this method has force refresh, means it will grab the latest values, including our also claims already. So let's do this, and in our subscribe there will be already and in the subscribe method we can already redirect the user to our dashboard, because at this point of time we can be sure that our claims are existing in this token. And AI, you can see that it looks quite messy with these streams, but you can fetch this database stream into separate method to have our stream more lean and readable. Yeah, okay. And yeah, let's go to the browser. And now I have to log out. And let's create the new user. So that will be Hasura number 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Create a user. Permissions denied. What? Doesn't have permissions. Aha, that's because we have to actually create the database. Yeah, quite obvious. So we don't need Firestore, but we need real-time database, and this is here, real-time database. So I want to activate test mode. That allows to read-write the values for everybody, but for the production you have to definitely change it, and you can do this in the rules tab. And now if we reload, we have to log out, and let's try to create another one. It's going to be Hasura number 4 Gmail or mail, whatever, then password, create a user, and finger crossed. Damn it, again claims. Let's go to the code and I think I know. We have to redeploy this function because we did changes there, and to apply them we have to deploy. And I see there also typo, which could be also the problem. Metadata, not metadata. And now let's do final check. So log out, create a new user, Hasura 7, whatever password, create the user, cross the fingers, and it's working. That's it for today. As you can see, it was very easy to implement, and I would like to hear your feedback. What do you think about Hasura? Maybe you would like to know more about some certain topics. Just write in the comments what would you like to know, and I will be happy to create such a video for you. But for now, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe to my channel. That's very important for me. And as always, thank you for your attention, and see you in the future.